Good morning, it's Clo Digestive Show for you. I'm here because you are there, and because you are there, I will always be there for you. Today, we'll be looking at a very interesting topic, that is how to manage anger in marriage. Yes, this is a very pertinent topic we'll be looking at today because many people are finding it so difficult to handle in their relationship, in marriage, even at their job site. But today we'll be looking how to manage it in marriage. So we'll start with Proverbs 25 verse 28. It says, if you cannot control your anger, you are like a city without walls. Yes, when you can't control your anger, you are like a city without walls. And when a city, if you have a city without walls, what actually happens? You can have attack from any direction. Yes, an attack can come from the north, from the south, from the east, and you can't be attacked from north, west, south, east, a single person, and you defeat such an attack. You can't. But if you stick together as the partner, with your partner, you attacks from north, west, south, east will be limited. You both, you are standing together to fight attack just from one direction, and that will be from outside. But when you are angry, be ready to fight attack from your spouse, from people outside, from etc. So that you give space for the devil to interfere in your home. When you're angry, the best way to manage your anger is to communicate. You have to communicate with your spouse frequently. For example, your wife did something really bad, or your husband came back home late and you were like angry, or he didn't give you money for feeding before leaving the house in the morning, and you are that kind of person that keeps malice for so long and you are just so angry. How can you manage that anger? The first thing is that you have to communicate. Whatever issue you are having, is good to communicate, because at times we are even angry when actually if we had brought what is actually eating us up, we have found a solution. We have seen that it's not even necessary, it wasn't worth being angry with your partner. You will have noticed that maybe actually if I had told him that, or called him on the phone and said, oh my dear, you didn't leave money for feeding, how am I going to cook? How am I going to cook for the house? And maybe your husband will explain that actually it's like that, I'm really empty, I had to even trek to the office today because I had nothing. You are going to feel pity for the guy, right? So if actually, rather than keeping an accumulated anger, keeping that hatred for each other, you actually comfort, take that courage to communicate, to dialogue with your partner what actually is disturbing you, you will see that there wasn't any need for you to be angry at all. You have to avoid, let your anger, because at times that we are even angry, we even spread the angers to other things. Yes, we spread our anger on other issues. Maybe you are now just so angry with the kids, you are angry with your husband, you now spread it to the kids, you now spread it to your colleagues in the office. And when you are angry, trust me, you are losing a lot. Maybe that good moment you have been spending with your spouse, with your wife, you are there, you are putting malice, you are angry. You are losing that moment, and that moment you can't regain it back. Once time has passed, it has passed. You can't regain what has passed. You only look forward to enjoy what will happen the next moment, the next minute, the next day. So let's stop ourselves. Let's first of all, if you accept that, first of all, you're that person that always keep malice, you're that person that has anger in you. When you first of all accept, I think that is the best way, that is the easiest way in solving it. When you first of all recognize that you're somebody that always get angry quickly, it is the easiest way for you to solve your problem. You know, God created marriage to be the most intimate relationship. So for you to share your worries together, you need to come together as spouse. You share your worries together rather than being angry and apart from each other for a long time. Anger doesn't benefit anybody. People that have been angry in marriage, you sit with your husband and he's angry for you, he's angry with you for nothing. For nothing, actually nothing. When maybe he could have just called you and said, oh baby, let's discuss this. It's like that, I saw dresses on the floor, what actually happened? Maybe you actually explain to the guy, I actually arranged the house, but your son went upstairs and maybe he was playing and he scattered it, and you were planning that maybe after you put the baby to bed, you will come and arrange the thing. But you were there, you didn't ask her, you were only angry, and you were angry. And when you are angry, the moment it becomes tense even in the house. So anger is something that damages many marriages. We really need to stop it. Then another thing that brings anger, that causes people to be angry, is lack of trust. When you don't trust each other, you are bound to be angry all the time. Maybe your wife goes out, she was to spend 2 hours in the salon, she comes back, you are angry. Without even asking her, give her the chance to explain herself what actually happened. Maybe the car, there was an issue on the way, or she went, customers were there online before her. She has to explain. Give your spouse the opportunity to explain themselves. Trust each other. You know, you fall in love. When you fall in love with your partner, right? When you decided to fall in love with your partner, you decided to take more of the blames on yourself. Yes, if you are in a relationship where you decide that I'm going to take the blame for whatever thing that I do, I'm going to take the blame, your relationship is going to progress. And anger, you will have limited reasons to be angry with your spouse. But when you are in a relationship where you decide that I'm going to give more of my blames to my spouse, you start throwing insults on each other, anger is bound to come into that relationship, and you guys are bound to fall out of love. So if you want to keep falling in love with each other, you have to take responsibilities for your action. Stop throwing at each other. Stop insulting, putting out words and actions that you can't adjust, even when that anger is being, even when you're no more angry, you can't take back those words, you can't take back those actions, those words you pour on your spouse. You need to be careful with your behavior, what you say, what you do, because those are things that, for example, I'm angry with my husband, I say, what can I say? Look at your big head. Or you're angry with your wife, you say, look at your big stomach. That's an insult, right? She's never going to be comfortable around you because you actually said that. Or you're angry with her, you insult her food. Or you insult the way she looks like, or the way he looks like. You are already killing the confidence your spouse is having, which is incorrect. Anger is actually something we need to really talk more on. You know, anger in marriage is so common nowadays. People use it as a defensive arrow to keep their spouse quiet. Some people use it as a defensive measure in order not to give an explanation for what they have to actually explain to their spouse. So in situations like that, I always advise us that when you have a spouse, a husband or a wife that always keep malice, that is always angry all the time, you have to keep quiet, give them space, let them calm down. When they calm down, you guys can talk about that issue causing that angry environment. If you are actually going to keep your relationship pure, then you have to take the bold step to deal with your anger. Yes, you have to take that bold step. If I notice that my husband has anger, or my husband notices I have anger, and I'm trying to or he's trying to calm me down, or to talk me down, and I'm not even recognizing the fact that I have anger, no matter what he does, it's not going to work, because first, I'm not even seeing it that I have anger. So no matter what anybody does, isn't going to change me in any way. So the first thing is accepting it. You need to be, that's in a relationship, you need to understand each other. It is very, very important. When you understand each other, you understand your spouse, you understand that this person is an introvert, you understand that she's an extrovert, it is easy for you both to communicate, to understand each other. And that moment, and it's going to reduce the moment and the moment of conflict that you guys are going, the amount of conflicts you guys are going to have in your relationship. If you are going to keep your relationship strong and healthy, it is advisable that you work on anger. You work on anger. You avoid being angry all the time. It's not going to help you. Don't go to bed. That's the worst one in a relationship, in a marriage. Don't go to bed with anger. No. Don't go to bed being angry with your spouse. It isn't going to be helpful. Or maybe the issue is just too terrible. At times it is normal. There are moments where we'll be angry with each other that you just have to be quiet. You just have to keep low for that moment. And there will be moments where you actually don't need to keep that anger for more than even 2 hours. And there are moments where you need to solve the angers. You need to solve that anger for about 24 hours. Yes, anger is something that isn't really good in your marriage. You have to work on your anger. It's not a good habit. You don't have to go to bed, or else you give an open door for the devil to come into your home, to come and destroy your home. When you're angry, you give open door for the devil to come and destroy your home. There are many relationships that are going down today, are going sad because of anger. Even in marriage, if you have a spouse that you want to say something, you have to adjust. I have to adjust before I talk to him. I have to choose my words before I talk to her, because by the time I say this, by the time I say that, you see he's already angry. You see he's already angry. How can you be in a marriage that you have to, before you say something, you have to think, you have to reflect on that thing, reflect before you actually think, before you actually pour it out? My dear, anger is something that is really bad. If you have anger, you are in a relationship and you have anger, you are in your marriage, you know very well that you have anger. I'm begging you today, work on that anger. It's not good. You stay with somebody, before the person wants to say something to you, the person has to think for 5 seconds before actually saying it. People will say things, but try to always look what people say in a positive way. Yes, all of us, even I was talking. I get angry at times, but that's why we are here to give out knowledge that anger isn't something that is healthy in your marriage. You have to work on your anger. Many marriages are breaking down. People are divorcing each other because of anger. You know, you cannot stay in a house with somebody for 10 years. Or let me not go up to that level. Stay with somebody in the house for 5 years, 6 years, 7 years, 8 years, 10 years. And yet he can't even understand you, she can't even understand you. You want to say something, he's angry. You want to do something, he's angry. The place becomes so uncomfortable, and the least thing you start thinking in your mind, what is the next thing? Let me divorce this man. Or somebody that is used to cheating, you see them going out there to cheat because the house is so choked up, the environment is in a way that there isn't any happiness. When there's anger, there is no love in that marriage. So my brother, my sister, I'm encouraging us today to stop being angry. It's not helpful. Let's communicate. Let's dialogue with each other. It's important to dialogue. When you have difficulties, dialogue. When you are seeing situations are going away, you don't encourage, you don't like, dialogue with your spouse. It's very important. Anger doesn't help us in any way. It only helps to reduce our love for each other. It only helps to make our relationship become sour. It only helps to bring our marriage to a point where divorce becomes an only option for us to take, and of which the Bible declares and refuses divorce except when certain circumstances are being involved, not anger. Let's learn to love. Let's learn to dialogue. We are going to end this with 1 Corinthians 11, which says, as a child, My speech, my feeling, my thinkings were all of a child. But now that I have grown up, I have no more use for childish ways. Yes, now we've grown up. Anger should be seen as something childish. Yes, it is childish, because if you are mature, you are grown up now, why should you be angry? You shouldn't be angry. It is not important. It's not important at all. Let's find ways, because the normal thing is, it's normal for people to be angry. That's the truth. It's very normal. It's going to, one problem or the other, one thing or the other is going to pop up here and there, and we'll be angry with our spouse. It's very normal that we are going to have disagreement in marriage. You are going to have disagreement in your relationship. But how you decide to handle that disagreement is very important. Some will decide to be silent for 2 months. You don't talk with your husband for 2 months, with your wife for 2 months. How is that possible? How are you guys even going to grow? Because when your husband and wife sit and they discuss, the dialogue together, that's how they grow. If you do not discuss with your spouse, you can't grow. So dialogue is important in a relationship. I was here for you, and I pray that you always be there for us. Today was how to manage anger in our relationship. Stay blessed. I love you all.